Hello and welcome once again to Ignite Your Impact. My name is Jen Rhodes. I do not have the puppy next to me right now.
We're in take two, just so
We're
everyone
in take
knows.
two, and I need to reset my camera.
Yeah, we started,
And we're set.
And the puppy started making some noises, so we're starting
the
over.
saddest cries from Mr. Zoli. If you are not watching on YouTube, I suggest you jump over there right now and catch this episode. I am in full glam, getting ready to go to the Chiefs game. Go watch the Chiefs game.
Yeah, so we're recording a little before the game.
Full glam, because one should always dress to impress. But I want to jump in. You brought this topic a week ago.
Yeah.
We were just talking back and forth at dinner. I'll let you get into the backstory of what it was. You said this one line, and I'm like, that's gold. We got to do that. Like, it gave me goosies.
Yeah, and the reason I love this subject is because this is something I used to do wrong, a long time ago. And where it's coming from is I attended this 2-day mastermind. It was a virtual mastermind last week, and the owner of the coaching company, his name's Tyler, and he hit on this subject, and I was like, yep, we're going to do podcast number 168 on this subject. And I brought it up to Jen, and Jen was like, hell yeah. But you're going to have to stick with us for just a minute as we go through this so that you get to what I would call really the punchline of this subject.
Yeah. It may be just what you're missing to take action on that goal that you've had just kind of ruminating in the back of your mind, right? If you've been listening to us for a while, even if you've just stumbled upon us, I think it's quite apparent that education is massively important for us. For today's context, I will throw in coaching as education as well, yep. Right? Or even mentorship, meaning when we hire a coach for some area that we want to get better in or skills that we want to sharpen, like in Matt's case.
Yeah, that's coaching, that's education.
Yeah, real estate.
Yeah. So
let's get back to education in school, grade school, middle school, high school, college. What did you do? You had a teacher or a professor, and you listened, you read, you studied, took some notes, and then you tested, right? In this scenario, testing was the action piece. Can you apply? And it showed if you get it, if you retain it, or where you needed to improve.
Yeah, and if you're around Jen and I's age, after that grade school, middle school, high school, college.
You didn't use it ever again. No, I'm just kidding.
Regular education, there for a while, if you're our age, was really about going and grabbing a book at the Books A Million or the library or any of those places. And you grab a book, whether it be about business, fitness, finances, mindset, relationships, whatever it was, and you'd read that book. And that was where you kind of got your education and coaching most of the time. You probably had mentors in your life, but that's kind of that's where you got that.
Yeah.
Today, things have drastically changed. Information is the new currency, and it is everywhere. And a lot of the time, it's free. Just like this podcast, it's just free. But think about that. Most people use their car as a rolling college education, listening to podcasts. That's what I do. I always have a podcast on listening. About any time, any day, you could look at the calendar and there's probably some event going on somewhere near you that you could attend and get some education. Mm-hmm. There's no shortages of coaches out there that you can hire either.
Lord Almighty!
But we use every single one of these: the podcast, the events, the coaches. We use every single one of them. So today, it's not that education is. Let me restate that. Today, education is not only easy to consume, but it's easy because there are no consequences. That's what Tyler was talking about at the end of that 2-day mastermind. Education is easy because there are no consequences with education.
This is what got me fired up. So what do we mean by that? Have you ever gone to a conference? Matt, raise your hand. We both have done this. Heard a speech, gotten all jazzed up. Yeah. And then 30 to 90 days later, that excitement is worn off. And more than likely, you are the same person you were prior to going to that conference?
This was me. You said, raise your hand. I was so frustrated with this and myself. It may seem simple, but it's not. We spent all this money to go to an event. And then we spend all this time away from family, away from jobs, away from businesses. And we go there and I take great notes and I'm pumped up about it. I'm talking about it for a few days. And then I put that nice little leather journal on top of the other leather journals where I've taken all these good notes and never referenced them again and never did anything with it again. So frustrating.
Yeah. So the point, education is easy because it has no consequences, means you can do all the things to get educated. But if you don't take actual action, there are no consequences, meaning you are not going to try something and fail. You're not going to try something and have to actually put in the work. There are no consequences.
Yeah, action is where it happens, and action is the greatest market differentiator out there.
Yes.
Anyone feel like this is hitting? Have you ever done this? Have you ever felt this way? You go somewhere, you take all these notes, and then, like Jen said, 30, 60, 90 days later, you're in the same place. The winnings, whatever that winning is, whether it's money or relationships or whatever it is, goes to the person that takes action. And we want to review a practical way to stop this from happening and then provide a little bit further direction for you. You're going to see what we go into. But as an example from this mastermind, this is a practical way to not do those things. So I go to this mastermind, take all these notes, and then literally the next day I have a 2-hour block in my calendar, not I'll get to this that day, this is on my task list. No, it's 2 hours blocked with no interruptions. And I pour through my notes for those 2 hours. And I take all the pieces out that I need and I organize them into action items. From there, I transfer them over to my calendar. And I do that for every single event that I go to. I block off time for the areas that I need to get something done to take action. I took a note, this is what I want to do. This is here are my KPIs, whatever it is. Then I go block off time to put it in my calendar to make sure it actually happens.
Yeah. For me, I do something a little bit different. I do a lot with my voice notes. Cause I don't write very much anymore. I will, my GM's voicemail is a catalog of voice notes I've sent if I'm out walking and listening to a podcast, or if I get just a light bulb idea, I will record these voice notes and send them to her, send them to myself. And at the end of the week, I will go through those notes and do the same thing with the planning and the putting it into the calendar. And I know we've talked before about like what needs done this week, what needs done this month, what needs done this quarter, and what's a rainy day project, right? And you know, some of my light bulbs are rainy day projects, and some of them are like, whoa, we need to actually put this on the calendar this week. This is really important. So I hope that this can help you take action. And I hope that this has provided you a little bit of value. And we always like to provide points to get from point A to point B.
Yeah. So those are the tasks or the steps to do something after you've went to a mastermind or you've met with some coaches or something like that. But here's where we are going to transition a little bit with you today. We're going to move away from the steps that you take, the A, B, C, D, and we're going to try and light a little bit of a fire, because more than likely that's probably what you need. Mm-hmm. Steps are great, but you probably need a little bit of a fire to let you know it's okay to take that next step. It's okay to take action. When I started putting together the bullet points for this podcast, at this point in the podcast, I really want to come up with a story that I could connect with everyone listening to us on, because that's what stories are, what bring people in. And I wanted to build up this story, but I couldn't. And this may sound brash, but we just don't wait to move. We just don't wait to take action, which is why I could not come up with a story. Now, probably from 20 years ago, but in the last 5 years, I couldn't. Progress likes speed. Write that down. Progress likes speed. We hired our first business coach after seeing one ad. We hired our second coach after seeing one ad. We hired our mindset coach after one phone call. I hired my real estate coach after one-day conference. Jen hired her social media strategist after one breakfast. We are getting ready to hire our speaking coach after hearing him speak one time.
Very excited about that.
I am too. My point in all that is how long have you been watching someone's reels on social media? How long have you been watching someone's videos on YouTube? How long have you been listening to someone's podcast? Heck, how long have you been listening to our podcast? Have you taken action on any of that? You can remember one thing: progress likes speed.
Love. I know for a fact that there are a handful of people that have lost weight, changed their relationships, and done other great things by listening to our podcast without hiring us. I know this because they told us.
Yep. I have a handful that I can think of that have told us.
Love.
Yep.
Love. You have no idea how pivotal that message is for us. I know that there are people that have made massive changes by following someone on social and just taking their advice and putting it into action. However, if you haven't started seeing results in some area of your life, maybe it's time to stop consuming and start doing. Maybe it's time to hire the coach. Maybe it's time to start planning new habits in your calendar that person of influence keeps talking about. We do this podcast to ignite impact in others' lives, whether they hire us or not. And that is what today is about.
Yeah, this was to give you, it's going to be a short one, but it was to give you a little bit of a wake-up call, as Jen said, to stop consuming and start taking action. Because when you start putting that education into action, that's where you start to move forward. That's where your life starts to get better. But you got to take action.
Shut up and jump, man.
Go.
I love it. We're going to wrap. It is a very short one today, but I hope this lit a fire underneath you. I hope that you share this with someone you think might also find value in it. Please tag us in your Instagram stories. Reach out. You know, we love those DMs, guys. Keep them coming. And with that,
talk to you next week.
Go Chiefs.